Now, I'm really glad to have another distinguished guest, the EU Commissioner for Regional Policy, Mr. JOHANNES HAHN, who, by the way, I checked in 2010 in the Baltic Rim Economies publication said that the Baltic Sea Regional Macro Strategy is a new model for cooperation to inspire other regions. Well, we saw that this inspirational macro-regional fever is already in the pipeline. We have the Danube strategy, also Adriatic and Ionian, I don't even know how to pronounce, strategies are underway. So, Commissioner, we are really glad to have you here, and tell us if this strategy is still inspirational and to what extent. The floor is yours.
Madam President, Finance Minister, ladies and gentlemen, indeed, sometimes I feel it was too much inspiration so far, because the idea of having additional macro-regional strategy has spread over Europe, and there is an increased demand, and one could believe that a member state doesn't believe it's a full member state if it doesn't have a macro-regional strategy. And some would like to have more of them, but it's about delivery, it's about implementation, it's about concrete action. So it's a little bit more than only meeting each other once a year. But this is a message we have to pass to some of these colleagues and friends who are still very interested to have their own macro-regional strategy. But I would also like to use the opportunity to thank Lithuania for hosting this conference, and the Council of Baltic Sea States for co-organizing this conference, and the Interexpo in Turku for its invaluable support. But I would also like to use the opportunity to congratulate the Lithuanian Presidency in general for the work you have done so far during your presidency, and I can only confirm that you did an excellent job. If I only look into my own dossier, where it was under the Lithuanian presidency where you could manage to strike a deal with your partner, the European Parliament, and it took, I think, more than 70 trilogues to find a solution. But this is about democracy. You have to include everybody, but afterwards, it's like a big tanker. You are heading into the right direction. That's why I'm grateful what you have done as a presidency, and there's certainly a lot to be done. But I hope next week the Parliament will adopt everything, and then we are indeed on a good path. But Lithuania has played also already in the past and in the present an important role in driving forward the EU strategy for the Baltic Sea region, and it was already mentioned, a particular important part of the presidency of Lithuania to push forward the macro regions and to have a kind of feedback process about the achievements so far. These strategies are about indeed deepening the integration of the European Union, and Lithuania's work in achieving this recent Council conclusion on the way forward is a very significant contribution. I think it was only 2 or 3 weeks ago. Lithuania is also a coordinator in 3 priority areas, so we are very grateful for your dedication and count on your continued support and commitment. There are 600 of us gathered here in Vilnius. Of course, not for everybody it was easy like for others to arrive, but finally we managed to be here, and I think it's great that so many can celebrate our successes so far and strengthen efforts in the future. I would particularly like to welcome the representatives here today from countries that are not EU members. Our environment, the theme of this forum, does not recognize borders, and there are many other areas where we all need to cooperate. I'm glad that our dialogue with the Russian Federation has been very fruitful in the past year, and I look forward to working with you on a wide range of projects, from innovation to transport and from maritime security to protecting our heritage. I said we have successes to celebrate. The use of phosphates in detergent is being phased out, as are the discarding of fish catches. The strategy is promoting serious action in shipping, particularly as we prepare for the new, tougher environmental standards that will apply to shipping post-2015. But the strategy is not all about the sea itself or even just the coastal areas. The recent renewed momentum behind Rail Baltic is a good example. The higher speed rail links that will connect the three Baltic states with Poland, Germany, and the rest of Europe, as well as Finland and North Europe, will be the largest infrastructure project in the history of the independent Baltic states. And it will dramatically influence the economic development of the region as a whole. The justification for working more closely together are clear. Common interests overlap and cannot be tackled by any state or region alone. Take liquefied natural gas. The advantages in terms of reducing emissions, in terms of our energy independence, can only be realized if we work together. But the creation of an LNG supply chain can benefit the region as a whole by building local know-how and stimulating local industries. This summer, the Commission published an evaluation of the macro-regional strategies, and the Council was recently confirmed our conclusion that the strategies are bringing indeed added value. I will be honest, we are achieving more and more quickly than I personally dared to hope, but we cannot be complacent. The opportunities are great, and we must not let them pass us by. Since the theme of this year's forum is environment, I will make that my example. The declaration from the HELCOM Ministerial in October underlined the need to intensify efforts on eutrophication, hazardous substances, and the protection of biodiversity. Why? Not least because saving the environment also has an important economic benefit. Creative, innovative people want to live in a high-quality environment. Inaction, therefore, has an important cost for our economy. The work we do together on preventing pollution from agriculture, tackling discharges of dangerous substances, or cleaning up municipal wastewater is an investment in the future of the region. I have two main messages for you today. First, now it's time to ensure that Baltic Sea region strategy is fully embedded into your plans for the next financial period. The funds are available, but it's up to your countries and regions to prioritize how they will be spent. Preparations are underway now for the new partnership agreements and the operational programs, and it's essential that European funds are mobilized in coordination with national, regional, and private resources to achieve the goals we have set ourselves. Frankly, now we have seen the draft partnership agreements from all the member states in the Baltic Sea region. I have to say that I'm concerned that the macro-regional objectives are not yet sufficiently reflected. We need to see more Baltic thinking in every single one of them. The Baltic Sea region transnational program must be designed to support implementation, so its funds alone will never be enough to cover all our ambitions. National allocations must be brought into play. Secondly, it's time to take real ownership of your macro region. Remember, it's a bottom-up initiative. It's not something which has been created in Brussels by our bureaucrats. It was and is and should be understood as a bottom-up initiative. The Commission is there and will continue to be there to facilitate and to provide strategic coordination. The European funds will provide financing, but to ensure their most effective use, you need to coordinate your planning and your investments. The structures are there to be in this process. But as our evaluation of the macro-regional strategies this summer suggested, there are questions still to answer about how this approach that you have pioneered, indeed you are the first, should be led. I don't have all the answers for you here today. The Council, under Lithuanian leadership, has asked the Commission to facilitate discussions on improving the governance of the macro-regional strategies and report by the end of next year. So we will be asking you to contribute to a reflection process on these issues in the run-up of the 2014 forum in June next year in Turku. Our two current macro-regions have different strengths and in some ways different problems to tackle in this review. The Danube and the Baltic will each need to reflect on tailor-made solutions to their own specific situation. Unlike the Danube, the Baltic Sea region strategy already has rather regular meetings of the national contact points. You have already a number of fora in which the political leaf of the strategy can come together. For example, in the Council of Baltic Sea States and the Northern Dimension, among others. So it is not necessary that the review create new structures. You should build on what already exists, but we don't to harness energies from effectively and join up the political and operational levels to achieve greater impact. Above all, it's about how to travel as captains of the ships, not as passengers. The Commission can help you maintain the vessel, but you have to be at the bridge steering. The Baltic Sea region strategy has made an excellent start, but it will not continue to deliver if it goes on autopilot, or if it is assumed that the European Commission will ship all the heavy cargo. The priority area coordinators and the national contact points are doing good, not to say excellent work. But the political leaders in all parts of governments need to stay fully engaged in deciding the way forward. That means every ministry, but also the ministers themselves. A couple of weeks ago at the Danube Forum in Bucharest, it was good to see a large number of ministers present. It spoke for the importance to the political level, to the strategy of that region and their commitment. The Baltic Sea region has a good, strong record of coming together at operational level, which is extremely important. But I hope that in Turku we can discuss up to the political level as well. Without prejudging the outcome of the governance review, let me share with you some of my own ideas on the subject. The macro regions offer a chance to bring the EU closer to the citizens at a scale that is easier to grasp than our union of 28. They offer a chance too for groups of member states to identify their common interests so that they can be much better reflecting their own decision making. I would like to see the transport ministers, for instance, of the Baltic, the tourism ministers or the energy ministers come together in the margin of this forum to seek consensus and to give strategic guidance for the future. When we are talking about implementing projects, we need the political backing about the projects which have to be implemented and which have to be chosen. A word before I close on the priority areas, horizontal actions and NCPs. I have said many times that they need the resources, the time, the staff to do their jobs properly. I am sorry to have to say it again today, the problem is still not solved in a proper manner. But as the strategy matures, we can begin to see some differences between the priority areas. Some are doing better than others, which is natural. The Council has invited us to keep the structure of the priority areas under review. We should all be ready to reflect whether there are improvements to be made and have the courage to make changes if they are necessary. Allow me not to be understood as a critic, but already now we have 17 priorities, and I'm wondering if 17 is still a figure where you can call each of them a priority. So maybe you should reflect about one or the other in order really to deliver. So that means this forum is an opportunity to think about the future, get involved, not only in the plenary sessions, as it was already said by the President, but in the workshops and at the side events. Use and enjoy this annual forum. Thank you.